Alright, so I got a 5-book submission back from CGC. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. It's my second submission where I've been cleaning and pressing books. Now, the first submission, if you remember, if you've watched that video, we far beyond exceeded our expectations. Now, was it because I'm just good at pressing? Or is it because we got a lucky grader? Well, we might be able to discover, which it is today. I mean, it's still a small sample size of books, so it won't really be like the end-all decision. We'll have to get probably 10 submissions back before we figure that out, right? So it's either going to be some kind of validation, or it could be just, CGC just putting us in our place, giving us a little bitch slap. So hopefully it's the former, not the latter, or maybe it'll fall somewhere in between. I have no clue. I have not looked at the grades of these books yet. So I'm a little bit nervous, so let's go ahead and just get to it. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, please go do that. It's @ImproveCollecting. So what I'm doing daily, I can post on there, and I don't have to make a long video to show what's going on. So check that out. Our first book is X-Men Annual. And it's number 14, which is, of course, the first true appearance of Gambit, right? So he's got several pages, panels that he's in this book. He has dialogue, all that good stuff. And this book predates, what is called his first appearance, which is, it's not behind me on the wall. Which, speaking of which, if you'll notice the book's behind me now. Let me get this out of the way. You see this X-Men here, 9.8, the All-Star Squadron 47, and the two spawns down here. And of course, this Amazing Spider-Man 361, 9.8 in the middle here. These are all books that I cleaned and pressed. So I'm trying to replace the books behind me with books that we had wins on when we cleaned and pressed. But you might notice these two slots right here. I'm going to have you guys vote in the comments based on these books. Which two of these books do you want to fill these slots with? Hopefully we'll have a big win and we can fill those slots. But regardless, I want you guys in the comments after you watch this video, go ahead and comment what your vote is. And I'll tally up the votes and we'll put the top two right here. And in the meantime, I'll go ahead and put my two favorites from the batch. And I don't want to sway you in any way, so you just vote for whatever your favorite is. But, I'm going to go ahead and, as a placeholder, stick my two favorite up there. Alright, so let's get to the first book here. X-Men Annual 14, first true appearance of Gambit. It's a thicker book. It's 64 pages. It's got this glue spine right here. It's very, very hard to work on. I thought it was a 9.2 when I got it in. And I thought I could have got it to a 9.4 at least, but maybe a 9.6. There were just some things on the spine here that I didn't know what to do. I've still got to learn. Maybe there's somebody out there that's good at these spines. If you know how to work on these spines, and you could get your own little niche, because it is extremely challenging. You have to build up the spine. When you press it, you can't put too much pressure on it or you'll crush the spine, which I won't even go into that. That was from another submission to another presser did that to me, crushed the bottom of a spine on I don't remember what it was. It was that Punisher, I think, Annual. I can't remember. But anyway, so you got to be extremely careful. You don't crush the spine. But it's very hard to work on ticks because if you use the tack iron, you can activate the glue and cause dents and do even worse damage than's already there. So I just did very light cleanup of what I thought I could get, but I couldn't get 100% of it out. And there was a color break, so I'm thinking 9.6 is the cap on this book, which I'm extremely happy with a 9.4 or 9.6 on this book. So let's go ahead and find out what we got. Whoa, getting off to an awesome start here. I heard this is an extremely hard book to get 9.8 in. I can't believe it. I got a 9.8 in this freaking book. Holy crap. We did good last time. I did not expect to get a 9.8 in this book. Maybe I'm just too conservative as a grader. I don't know, but right off to a good start. Yeah, pretty book. I don't know that I would have given it a 9.8. I obviously didn't when I sent it in, but man, I'll take it. I will absolutely take that win on the first book. Now, here's another copy of this All-Star Squadron. Same one as the one behind me right here on the wall. The one that we surprisingly got a 9.8 in it, but we didn't expect in our last submission. And this one is a newsstand. Now, I don't think it was that rare to have newsstands back then. I think it was about 50-50. But the thing is, people generally took care of direct editions more anyway because it was bought in comic shops And these were not generally, they weren't sent to comic shops. They weren't really bought as much by collectors. So even though there was just as many printed, I think, in 1985, I think that was like the transition, the Rubicon, if you want to call it, where everything after 85, it became rare and rarer to even print these. I think people just didn't take care of newsstands. So they're still rarer to find in extremely high grade. So this one here, I thought, this actually was really rough. Oh, something about this book. Take a look real quick. See if anything sticks out to you. Let me get the glare off of it. Anything about this book a little bit unusual? It might not be unusual to some people out there, and that's if you live in Canada. But if you look at the price, it is not the 75 cents it's supposed to be. It's 95. So this is the Canadian variant. I almost saw the grade on the back, but I averted my eyes at the last second. But so it's a Canadian price variant, which is even more rare. Then I don't know how rare it is. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me how rare this. I think I saw, maybe it was Mint Hunter talked about Canadians. I forget. Where I think it's like 10%, depending on what area you're in or what year. 10% of high grades are newsstand, and then maybe 10% of the 10% is a Canadian. So it's extremely rare. I'm not certain that it'll fetch that much higher of a price. I don't know about that. I think anything 9.6 or 9.8 would fetch a much higher price, but I think in mid grades, you know, up to 9.2 or something, probably isn't going to be that much more valuable. It's once you get to the ultra high grades that the value really skyrockets on newsstands and the rare Canadian. So getting back to it, this one was rough. I almost want to say there might be a tear on this one. I don't want to look. There's something on it that made it a 6.5, and I thought it was going to cap out at an 8.0. I thought 7.5 to 8.0. It was a little disappointing. I remember getting this one in. It looked very, very good in the pictures when I bought it, maybe on eBay. I can't remember exactly. So I'm hoping for 7.5 or 8.0 in this book. So let's see what we got. Whoa! That is a full grade higher than I hoped for. So I am extremely happy to get a 9.0 in this book. So let's see what we got here. I mean, it's a great looking book, but there was some major flaw. I'm sure maybe that major flaw that I remember on, yeah, it's got a big rip right here. I don't want to say big, but it's torn right there. I don't measure tears, so maybe I need to measure that tear. It probably falls into the 9.0 cap. But without that there, this book is every bit of a 9.4 or 9.6. So, but I think it's just the tear hits us at 9.0. I thought that tear would get us 8.0. I think I'm just a little bit too conservative, which is fine, you know. But I'm thrilled to have a 9.0 newsstand Canadian. And of course, I'll put the prices, the fair market values on the screen, assuming they're available. I might have to, I don't know how many sales there are of this, so I might have to like look at 8.5s, 9.2s, and just kind of find it, figure out what the average would be for this grade, but we'll put that on the screen here. But yeah, we're already higher than we expected on our first two books. So, like I said, if I'm just mediocre on the rest, I am already thrilled and happy. If I could keep my 9.8 streak going, where I get at least one 9.8 where I don't expect to, that's going to be just awesome. So, the next book we have here is a cool one. It's this Marvel Team Up. But the thing is, it's the black suit. You can read it right here. Ties with Amazing Spider-Man 252 for the first appearance of the black costume. So this is an exact tie. Came out same day, same week, whatever, as 252, which I don't have on the wall anymore behind me. But you guys know what 252 is. So another cool cover here. It's got Daredevil on it. So if you're a Daredevil fan, you love this cover as well. It's got them both up here. First black suit. I mean, I think this book is a little bit underrated. Even though it's got a pretty good value to it, I think it's a little bit underrated. So this one, I'm trying to remember where I picked this one up. This might be the one I got in the comic shop. There was a haul that I did I drove around Charlotte, and I got a copy of this. It might be in that haul. So yeah, I thought it was a 7.5 when I got it. I didn't buy very well this copy. This is hard to get high grade in because of this deep purple right here. It shows defects very well. So 7.5, and I really, really maybe capped at 7.5 in this book. I'm hoping for an 8.0, really. That's kind of just, what am I going to do, right? So let's see what we got. Wow! Did I say wow the first two times? I got to stop saying wow if I'm saying it, because I am far exceeding what my expectations are. I thought this was a 7.5 or 8.0 capped. Did I get the same grader? Did I get Grader Joe or whatever his name was again? Did I just get another favorable grader? It is a pretty book, and I'm trying to remember why I thought it was capped at 8.0. It's got several spine ticks, which I know you can have on a 9.2. It's got this up here. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a little almost mangling of the cover. Yeah, this book looks really good. It's got this at the top of the spine. Of course, we got a 9.6 on a Star Wars 81 with that kind of damage. So that's not a huge deal breaker. That could be bindery as well. So like I said, I'm very conservative on my grading. There's a little color break thing up here as well. Now there's a scuff on the case there. That's not very good. But yeah, it's a very attractive book other than those three little flaws. Let me see, there's something else here too. Yeah, this corner down here is not very sharp. You can see like there's almost like a tiny little chunk out of it. But it is just a 9.2. It's not like we got a 9.8, right? So apparently I don't know what an 8.0 looks like because, you know, once again, I'm far exceeding what I expected, but very, very happy once again to get a full grade 3 to 4 bumps above what I expected on that book. So we got 2 more left. Now this one is the first time I've ever had this book. I actually got a lot of these on eBay. I got, was it 5 of these at one time, and they were pretty rough. But I thought they were kind of diamonds in the rough. I thought they had good bones, I guess you could call it. They were heavily soiled, but they looked fairly clean. Now this one, I'm not going to turn around because I'll show the grade, but there's a big rip at the top. This was the worst of all of them. So when I was going to work on one of these books that I'm unfamiliar with how to work on them, I wanted to work on the roughest one first so I wouldn't do extra damage, or at least if I did do extra damage, it might not add, like hurt the grade too much. But it was a lot of fun, and I didn't learn it on this one, but the next one that I did, which should be in the next batch, I learned something on this, and that's that you cannot use an eraser on it. I kind of already would figure that out. But absorbing sponges work extremely well on this book. And in fact, ever since I've been doing this, I don't even pull out an eraser on a book hardly ever anymore, unless it's somewhere that's like really heavily soiled. Just a little tip if you're getting into this, is I save erasers just for like around staples and areas you don't really want to scrub hard with an absorbing. And absorbing is very low contact. It feels like you're scrubbing hard, but really it's not doing much to the book. And I have not damaged a book yet with absorbing pads, even delicate books. So it's a very safe way to clean books. And if you get the right pressure and the right, I don't know what to say, the right pressure and just enough repetitions on the cover of any surface of any book, no matter how many colors there are, it does clean dirt up very, very well. And I think it was heavily soiled down here. And I was having no luck. I actually tried, some distilled water on it, ImmacuClean, which is made by Immaculate Comics. You might want to check his channel out. It's good stuff, but it didn't have any luck getting any soiling off down there. And eventually I was like, just let me try. I'm just going to either leave it on there or I'm going to try absorbing, because obviously I cannot use an eraser on this. And in fact, there was a spot on here where I used an eraser and I took a little bit of color off. And I was afraid I would get that label that says like conserved or something like that. But there's little areas in this book, imperfections anyway, that came from manufacturing that almost looks like somebody took an eraser. And so, I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't enough to get that. So let's don't wait any longer. I thought this was going to be, what did I think this was? It was rough, like I said. I thought it was a 6.0. And afterwards, I was hoping for 7.5 or 8.0. I'm pretty confident because of the back damage on this. 8.5 would be the absolute extreme that I can get on this book. So 7.5, 8.0, I'm extremely happy on this book. And 7.0 does not surprise me at all. This does not surprise me. It's very hard for me to gauge, and I'll show you why. It was very, very hard for me to gauge this one because of this on the top. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, right there. It's not necessarily a tear, but you can see there's a big crease right here that breaks color. This was bent under heavily right here, and there's a big crease here going across. So if you add up all the creases here on the book, they probably measured it, and it just, by the amount of creasing on it, we were capped at 7.0. But 7.0 is still good value on this book. In fact, if I remember correctly, pretty much any grade between 6.5, 7.0, 7.5, 8, even 9.0 kind of all goes for the same price. If somebody wants this book, they just want it because it's rare, and it's got this guy. And now, this is the Adventures of Super Mario. Don't get this confused with the regular Super Marios from the year before. But these books have almost just as much value as just plain Super Marios. That's why I was happy to pick this up for the price I did. In fact, if I were to get a 9.0 or 2 in this book, which I think I might on one of the other ones, I think selling one 9.2 will pay for the whole lot of them, and it should be profit for the other 4. So I'm excited about picking up these books. And I am going to keep one and sell the rest. I'll probably just keep the highest grade and roll with that. So yeah, I'm not too disappointed because I was thinking 7.5. Actually, it started at 6. I was thinking 7.5 to 8.0. So it's 7.0. It's 0.5 or 1/2 a grade below what I was hoping for. But once again, this up here just caps us. So I'm perfectly fine with a 7.0. This is a gorgeous book from the front, though. This book looks like a 9.4 from the front. This will go for a premium at a 7.0. If somebody sees this and looks closely at the photos as a 7.0, if they're thinking about making this a wall book, it is every bit as beautiful as at least a 9.0 or higher. If you were looking at it from right here, I mean, it could be a 9.8. I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, this is just gorgeous, this book. Except for that one little spot. I can't even find it now. I don't remember. You know what I think it was? Is I think there was a little pen mark on the front, and I got it off, but I took a little color off. So it was either leave the pen or take a little color off, and I don't know which counts against you more. I probably should have just left it alone, but it's on there somewhere. I just can't remember where. But yeah, it's a gorgeous book otherwise, and it's got a couple, color breaks here, but there's very hard to see because of the white clouds. Now the big one. This one is a very interesting book because I did a video on this one where I cleaned and pressed it, and it took me 8 or 9 days for the whole process on this book. I whitened 100% from the cover all the way to the back, and we have an even bigger history on this book because this is the one I picked up in a bin at a Charlotte comic book store unnamed that cost me $15. So I've got, between my cleaning and pressing and all that, I mean, I probably spent $5 on all the pressing materials and everything that I used to press this book. I might be $20 in plus the CGC fees, so I'm maybe $50 into this book. So if this was a 1.0, I'm still profiting on this book because even in a 1.0, this thing's worth more, than I've spent or have into this book. So very curious to see what grade. There were a lot of guesses in the comments after I cleaned and pressed this one. I thought it started, initially when I first got it, I thought it was about a 6.0, but after looking at it for a while, I was being a little bit optimistic. This was more like a 5.0 or 5.5 when I first got it. And if you watch that video, you'll see what I'm talking about. It had lots of bends. It was yellow. I'm not talking about here. It was tanned pretty good all the way through the book. It was definitely off-white. I put a lot of time, love, and energy into this book. And I'm just hoping for a 6.0 or 6.5. If I get a 6.0 or 6.5, I am more than thrilled. But any grade is satisfactory because this is a beautiful cover now. It looks pristine white. There was a printer's crease here and on the back as well that I was able to clean up. But yeah, this is a gorgeous book. It's going to look great on my wall because I'm putting it somewhere. If it's not coming back here, it's going somewhere up here, maybe with my other Star Wars books over here. Drum roll. Let's see what we got here on the Star Wars 42. 6.5. Exactly what I hoped for. Very, very thrilled for that 6.5. And this is a gorgeous 6.5. And I mean, I thought there was maybe an outside chance of that 7.0, but we can only be lucky so long, right? So finally I've graded one accurately, and obviously there's a good reason why it's only going to be able to get 6.5. There's just way too many color breaks on it. There's a little bit of fading. There's a big crease right here, color breaking. It's hard to see, but it's there. It goes all the way across here. If you remember, this thing was bent here, bent all the way across here through the entire book. And oh, we got the white pages. You know what? I haven't been checking that on all these books. Let me just go through these. We got Super Mario's white pages. And that's Super Mario's 1 white pages. We got Marvel Team Up 141 white pages. We got All-Star Squadron 47, Canadian variant, white pages, and they got the label right. And you know what? I just realized earlier when I was showing this, if I was asking you if you could figure out, it's right there on the label. I mean, duh, right? And we got white pages on the annual as well. And so yeah. So you guys go ahead and vote on what you think I should put on my wall up here. But I'm going to go ahead and do my own voting. So let's see here. Do I just put the ones that we exceeded our grade on? Or do I go with the one that I worked so hard on? I think I'm going to go with this one. And this one right here. These two. The one I worked so hard on and got the grade I hoped for. Without the conserved label, which is big deal. I was afraid I put too much into this with my whitening and everything. And this beautiful 9.8, which I am keeping. I'm not selling this book. I desperately wanted a copy of this in 9.8, and this is the first time I've submitted it, and I cleaned and pressed it myself. And I'm telling you guys, it's a very satisfying thing to put that kind of effort into something and actually have it come through like this for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on the wall. The next time I record a video, it should still be up there, but why don't we go ahead and do that right now? And these, I did a video on these wall hanger things, if you want to check that out. But let's see, let's put this one over here. It'll probably end up on my X-Men wall, which is over here. But I'm going to go ahead and put it there for now. And the next one is our beautiful Star Wars 42. I just realized it doesn't say first Boba Fett. Isn't this the first appearance of Boba Fett in comics? Why doesn't the label say that? I don't know. Now 81 says Return of Boba Fett. Why doesn't that say Boba Fett? I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. Am I wrong? Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. I don't know. So let's get this up here. Make sure we get it right. And look at that. Is that not cool or what? Let me fix the camera here a little bit. There we go. What do you think about that? Now the wall has nothing but books that I cleaned and pressed. My X-Men 207 with the custom label. My All-Star Squadron 47. McFarlane, of course. Got my newsstand, Amazing Spider-Man 361. You can't see that it's a 9.8 probably on the video, but it is a 9.8, unexpectedly. 6.5 Star Wars 42, which we got white pages on after whitening the whole book. Got our X-Men Annual first, number 14, which is first appearance of Gambit, first true appearance. And we've got Spawn number 1 in a 9.8, and our Spawn number 8 in a 9.8. So everything's a 9.8 except for the Star Wars, which we obviously knew we weren't going to get a 9.8 on that one. But every single book except for one, we got at least the grade we wanted and bumps above that. So I'll have some more of these, and this is my lowest grade one, so hopefully we're able to realize a higher grade. So this one was a lot of fun, so I think we kind of got a little bit of validation here. I mean, I either exceeded or met every grade except for the Marios, which is a book that I'm completely unfamiliar with, and I don't know how to grade. But otherwise, just very, very happy with the way things come out. And probably the prettiest book of the bunch, besides the Fett, is this one right here. So very happy to get this 9.2. And yeah, happy about all the grades. Now, one last thing before I go is I sent these 3 submissions at least a week apart. The oldest submission still hasn't come in, and in fact it's been there 40 days, 30 something days. This one, I'll put the dates exactly on here, but this one was ultra fast coming back, and I have another one coming tomorrow that was less than maybe 10 days turnaround. I'll put the dates on that one tomorrow as well, and then the next one is coming after that. So I have 3 straight days of joy of these books coming in, so I'm really excited. And I'll make a video. I'll publish each one on a Sunday. This will be the upcoming Sunday. And then the following Sunday will be another one, and then another one. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying this content. And we will see you in the next video.